Alright guys, so we're nearing the end, so I thought I would get back on the cam and show you. And you know, it's just the same thing that I've been doing all along. 1 2 1 2 1 2. This is a 2. The next one is a 1. The next one is a 2. And I've noticed a pattern already. I end with the 2 in this case. Okay. So now, what are we going to do? We need to close the gap. So we're going to use a slip stitch, go in that second chain, put it through, wrap, pull the yarn through, and continue to pull it through. Alright, chain 3. That's the first double crochet of that row. Alright, so this time we have to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch and 2 double crochet in the stitch thereafter. So once again, we're not working in that same stitch. That was only for, you know, that I guess a couple of rows ago, right? So 1 double crochet in the next stitch, which is this one. This is a chain 3. That's the next stitch. And remember to go in the top. 1 double crochet in that stitch, and then 1 in the, and then 2 double crochets in the one thereafter. Okay, so this is your pattern. Remember, this first chain 3 serves as a double crochet, and it's in its own stitch. And then we put 1 double crochet in that next stitch. Okay, and then we put 2 double crochets in that third stitch. Okay, so that's the pattern. 1 1 2. Okay, so we're going to do it again. 1 1, next stitch, right? And then next stitch we're going to do 2. Okay, so 1 1 1 1 2. These 2 are in that one stitch, and then 1 1 2. Okay, and we're going to continue doing that. I'll do one more on the camera. 1 1 2. Alright, I'll meet you back around. Alright, thought I'd pop back on since I'm almost done with this row. So 1 stitch and 1 double crochet in that stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 double crochet in that final stitch. Okay, because the next one is the chain 3. So 2. And now we're going to slip stitch it. So go in that second chain, wrap, pull through, and pull through. Now we'll chain 3, and this is an easy row because it's not an increase row, it's not an increase round. So basically you're going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so we go to the next stitch, that's the chain 3, next stitch, go in the top, okay, and do your double crochet, and we'll do that all the way around. By the way, the row that we just completed, that should have had 60 stitches. And this row, since we're only doing 1 double crochet in each stitch, since we're not increasing, it will also have 60 stitches. Alright, I'll check back in a bit. Alright, you guys know what time it is. Time to pop back on and finish this row where it's not an increase row. We're just putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. I really hope you guys are able to see how to get into the tops by now. Let me know if you need me to make a separate video maybe about that. But see how these 3 double crochets, they have these tops, right? Looks like a chain stitch basically, right? That's a top. right? I'm basically just going in each of these every single time. So I wrap and I slide it under the top. That, and I come through, I wrap and pull through, and so on. You guys probably have it. I'm probably just being paranoid. Alright, 59 and 60. Alright, and since it wasn't an increase round, you can see that it's almost starting to curve a little bit. But we're not done with the increase rounds. We have one more increase round. So we need to connect this round. So we do a slip stitch, go in the center, wrap, pull through, chain 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. So one there, one there, one there, one there, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet there. So 1, 2. See, once again it split, so just let it pass over by itself. That's what it wants. 2. 3, 4, and now 2 double crochets there. And remember, you always end these rows with the stitch that gets 2 double crochets. Alright, so what is our pattern here? Well, our pattern, remember, this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So the pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 double crochets and then 2 in the next stitch. So once again, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of those 5 double crochets that I just made were in their own stitches, their own respective stitches, and now we're going to put 2 double crochets in the next one. And then we just keep we repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 2 double crochets in this one. Okay, all right, I'll check back in a bit. All right, as I'm working my way around, I do like to periodically check to make sure I'm keeping the pattern. So I look and I see, okay, the last time I put 2 in 1, that was here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm good. 2 go in this one, 2 double crochets, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and remember the last one should end with 2. 5. Okay, so here's the last one with the 2, so I need to have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. I better have one more stitch to put the 2 in, and what do you know, I do, because that's the chain 3 there. So this is the last stitch. Perfect, it worked. My math is correct. So 2 double crochet in there, and then we'll do a slip stitch in 1, 2, that's second chain. Split the chain, pull the yarn through, and go through that. Chain 3. Okay, now we're gonna go do another row where we're not increasing anymore. Okay, it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch. And remember, you should have a total at this point of 70 stitches. It was 60 before, but then the last increase row that we did, that took it up to 70 stitches. So we have 1, count that chain 3, 1, 2, and then when you get back around, you have a total of 70. 3, 4, 21, 22, 23, 24 stitches I have, 25, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. All right, almost done with this row. I'm at 60. So now 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Better have one more stitch to put a double crochet in, and yep, I do. 70. Alright, slip stitch it to connect it, complete that round. And as you can see, guys, it's starting to curve, right? Okay, starting to curve up. So you want to do 4 more rows just like that. So I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're done with increase rows now. So no more increase rows. Every single stitch gets a double crochet. So we're going to stay at 70 stitches. Okay, so you're going to do what you just did with this previous row 4 more times, and I'll check back in once we get to that point. Good luck, have fun. Before I go and let you do your 4 rows, I want to show you something else that is optional. Okay, you don't necessarily need this. It's called a stitch marker, or like a placeholder, a stitch placeholder, and they have, you know, they have different types. They have different types that look different ways, but this is the one of the types that I have. Basically, you put this in your piece of work to keep track of where you're at. And these are really used for projects where they use continuous rounds, where they don't do the slip stitch and it actually begins a new row. You just continue crocheting round and round and round, and it's really hard to keep track of where the beginning is. So that's what these are for. And since this is not that type of, you know, work, you know, every row is distinct, and you can always tell because it begins with the chain 3 in each of these, right? It is still useful in this case because, like, you know, you have to do 5 rows of this, and you already did 1 and you have to do 4 more. But since it's all the same color, right, you may not remember, you know, how many rows you did. Say if maybe you did 2 and then you get distracted and have to go somewhere. And then you get back, if you didn't write it down or mark it down anywhere, you might forget whether or not you did 2 rows or 3 rows or, you know, 1 row. So what you can do is you can get something like this, or you can get it like a safety pin if you don't have one of these, and just put it in. So now I know, right, that this started that first row and I have 4 more to go. So I could come back to this you know, 5 weeks later, and I remember, okay, this is that first row, so I definitely still have 4 more rows to do. All right, so that's just something that you can use to help you keep your place. Before I had these, I would just, you know, mark it on a sheet of paper. As soon as I would complete a row, I'd put a mark, you know, and then that was how I kept it. But then I discovered these, and they're super helpful. So yeah, just another tip, you know, me just trying to be super helpful for you guys. All right, I'll see you in 4 more rows.